おそらくベールの夢が具現化した場所だろう。
そっか、目的地じゃないのか。スーシャさんはベールさんの夢に興味あるはずありませんし、引き返して別のルートを探しましょう。
興味あるね。
はい。
イーシャもベールの夢に興味あると言っている。
はい。イーシャさんまで。けどベールさんのことですから、きっと妹ができる夢だと思いますよ。それか私たち女神候補生がベールさんの妹になるかだと思います。
それでも構わない。
わかりました。少しだけですよ。けどベールさんはどこにいるんでしょうか。
向こうからベールの気配がする。ついてこい。気配はこの先にある部屋の中からだ。
確かこの先ってベールさんの部屋ですよね。とりあえず入ってみましょう。ベールさん。
その声はネプギアちゃんですわね。ちょうどいいところにいらっしゃいましたわ。紹介したい人がいるので入ってきてくださいな。
それでは失礼します。なんですかこれは。
もうその漫画は私が読む。
意外と深いな。
Hey guys, OneMan here. I gotta be honest with you, while most of this video is discussing Vert in more depth and with less disdain than the last Vert video, this will also be cross-referencing my own novel and serve as an indirect or maybe direct plug for it. Right now, Kyle and I are looking into different options and organizations to get the novel adapted. Most likely, we're getting some form of word in January. So I feel like I need to see some form of impact within my novel. Also, sorry the release is so late. I got so pissy at an anime video I felt I had to write a response script to it, so I could make a video about it later. Enough of that for now though, because many of you would much rather prefer my discussion of Vert. See, with the advent of the botchery known as Cyber Dimension Neptunia, I am wholeheartedly convinced that the writers of Neptunia have wholeheartedly gone Vince McMahon levels of delusional abandonment in regards to making Vert seem like a redeemable character. Yet it really only began to fester in its evil in a day nightmare of Vert in Mega Dimension. A nightmare that is only surpassed in patheticness by Big Tit Block. Just get to that already. And I'm trying to avoid too much cursing here because I'm already annoyed by YouTube's stupid ad-revoking nonsense. Basically, this day nightmare begins with Nepgear and S.E. Shaw, as I call her, going into the day nightmare of Vert. The only saving grace of this day nightmare is that this so-called day nightmare does not feature rape power fantasies in regards to Vert's newly heightened levels of obsession with having her own little sister. Instead, she delves into new realms of self-obsessed vanity and turns her own self into her own little sisters. If hearing that sequence of that sentence and its grammatical impurities gave you an aneurysm, or at least a headache, then congratulations! You've reached the pinnacle of comprehending how fucking dumb this idea is. Like, who the fuck in Idea Factory and Compile Heart came up with the idea of this day nightmare and thought, oh yeah, this will appeal to the Vert fucking minority at the very least, right? No one wanted this crap. I don't even think actual Vert fans wanted a scene like this. I'm not even a Vert fan, and that scene made me feel pity for Vert fanboys rather than contempt for them. It is just so damn sad and pathetic that I ended up feeling pity for those who are fans of her, because it is like watching your favorite toy being broken, or the girl you've been in love with for many years breaking up with you, or maybe to find that the individual you call a hero is much less than you originally thought. The levels of botch in the writing for Vert's Day Nightmare is staggering. I seriously believe whomever came up with the idea and thought it was a good one should be fired. Yet enough of me ragging on Vert, because that is not the point of this video. If you want me ragging on Vert in its entirety, I'll put it at the end card where it belongs. No, the point of this video is how to take this situation and write it correctly, so that it doesn't come across as the most pathetic thing you'll ever find in a very sad way. This specific notion is where I'll be referencing my novel, so self-sucking warning is advised. Alright, where to begin? Well, I think that the biggest problem with this kind of scenario is the inherent lack of worth in both its initial introduction and as well as the completely clear lack of direction it has. While you may feel concerned how any changes would alter the very story of Neptunia, you can take comfort in the fact that your concerns are entirely unwarranted. For the simple fact is that the daydreams are not relevant to the story in a story fashion. It matters in avoiding the bad end, but other than that, there's not really much to these daydream scenes. So, since these daydreams function on about the same level as an OVA, I am free to alter as I see fit. So let's address the very lack of direction this scenario has. Here's what I think that should have been done. Set it up where the daydreams actually feel connected. It can be done in two parts, and really these two parts are set up to where it actually deepens the connections between Vert Blani and Nep Noah. Now that I think about it, both Nep's daydream and Noir's daydream really feel like mirror reflections. Noir has that Neptune-ish brattiness to her shallow daydream, and Neptune has mega heartwarming deepness in her daydream that really seems more along the lines of something Noir should daydream. So really, theirs actually feel connected. So here's the very start of building a better version of this scenario between Vert and Blondie. You keep Blanc's daydream mostly the same, albeit the only alteration would be how they react to Blanc and her notion of big boobies. Yes, go ahead and laugh. Something along the lines of something they set up for Vert's daydream, and they line about how much Blanc actually cares about Vert's opinion. It doesn't necessarily have to be Yuri, albeit it fucking should, but it must at least be done, even if it's in a platonic fashion. Here's where things get entirely tricky. For it would be entirely rewritten in premise. First, the start of it all, you start off the same foot as the original. Nepgear and S.E. Shaw, as I call her, enter the scene with the daydream. However, this is where the similarities end. For how I write this scene is about to be a bit of a custom alteration. Warning in advance, I'm not going to put the actual custom cutscene because I don't have the time to do so and still upload it as a Nep Friday video. But back to what we're going to discuss. With Vert's depression over feeling lonely and not having a little sister, there needs to be some actual depth to it, and not just saying it is deep, S.E. Shaw. So this scene comes with Nepgear and S.E. Shaw watching Vert's place, of which this scene feels odd and out of place, as Nepgear and S.E. Shaw won't understand why it is a daydream in the first place, when it is only really Blanc and Vert drinking tea together at first, or them playing a couple of video games, or even a scene of them working together. What in the goodness is this? Nepgear asks S.E. Shaw. This doesn't really feel much like a daydream at all. Yes, S.E. Shaw replies. This feels like any ordinary day in their lives. I expected a little sister fetish. To be honest, me too, Nepgear shall reply. Still, there is one thing that seems odd in this. Why Blanc? Doesn't it seem odd that the one fellow goddess she gets along with the least is the only one occupying her daydream? Then an audible gasp escapes S.E. Shaw's voice as she realizes it. The E out of the S.E. Shaw asks S of the S.E. Shaw in her head what she came up with. S voices her view on it. S. Shaw, I don't get it, Nepgear interjects, a bit lost. What is going on? This is a little sister daydream. Nepgear. S.E. Shaw tells Nepgear. We just didn't notice it because it was so subtle and deeply rooted that one wouldn't notice. How is this a? Nepgear asks before catching it in mid-sentence. Oh, now I get it. This is a rather kawaii little sister scene. Who knew Vert would always tease Blanc because she likes her? It all makes sense now. Then you see a little bit more of a cutscene like Vert dressing up Blanc in cute clothes, while Blanc gets all adorably embarrassed. Then maybe a lap pillow scene where Blanc snoozes in on Vert's lap peacefully during the winter inside next to a fireplace where Vert smiles in content before peacefully snoozing. The scene ends, this custom scene I should say, ends with Nepgear and S.E. Shaw discussing what they've witnessed, admiring the small amounts of kawaii in Vert's daydream and how Hatsukashi Blanc would be if she saw Vert's daydream. And boom! Right there, you've established some form of kinship between Blanc and Vert. Even if it isn't Yuri, it still puts Vert on the right track again as a character. It also brings meaning to the detestable Big Cow Tits Blanc scene and makes it less unbearable to witness. It provides a gateway to a possible bright future that fans can actually look forward to. Right now, the biggest problem in the Neptunia franchise is that there is no new content people are looking forward to. The main trend people are looking forward to in the Neptunia series is a damn fucking remake of the previous game, whose scenes I'm criticizing, known as Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory 2 or Neptunia 7. Fucking reboots for the damn blues. So this kind of scenario provides a bit of establishment of the friendship of Vert and Blanc. So those who love Vert and those who don't but do love Blanc, both have something to look forward to and enjoy. See, bonding and friendship. In the end, everyone gets something out of this custom scene. The fans, the characters, and the story. Which is what the general kind of scenario should bring out. In fact, part of what my novel did was take the very Vert little sister syndrome, as I shall name the diagnosis, and wrote it in a manner that actually works, unlike with what Mega Dimension did. For in my novel, the main character, who is a gender-bent female, and the main love interest, who is also female, develop a loving bond in a weird way. However, this weird way actually makes sense, as the main love interest functions as both, at first, as only the main character's protector and guide, both physically and emotionally. Whereas the main character functions as a form of redemption for the main love interest, and a sanctuary of love, care, and faith for the main love interest. And this actually also functions back and forth. Yet, at first they don't develop or function on a love basis. In fact, the main love interest and main character function more like a big sister and little sister dynamic respectively, until another character puts the romantic notions into their heads. In my novel, both characters gain something from Vert's little sister syndrome, as I call it, and label the diagnosis. Not to mention that later down the line, the relationship built from those very building blocks function as a pivotal emotional impact at the novel's conclusion, which wouldn't have meaning without the intricate build-up from using the idea known as Vert's little sister syndrome, and translates it from that to Catherine Yuri syndrome. Alright, well, I've covered everything I've wanted to say in this video, and I have given enough self-sucking to last you all for one video. I've single-handedly written a scenario where Vert's own selfish desires can pan out in an endearing light, rather than a saddening, pathetic light. So yeah, Compile Heart, Idea Factory, I just Jesus the fuck out of the script. You're welcome! Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I am not able to provide a NEPS live stream right now. I really wish I could do something to get a nice computer as soon as possible. But since there's really no way to resuscitate Kuroto, and I probably won't be able to afford a new computer until I get my next paycheck plus my part return, I'm up ship creek without a paddle. So I would like it if you caress that like button. Oh, and if you don't know what that means click it, you baka. I would also love it if you click the subscribe button and bell if you are new. If you are not, please remain subbed to me and have your bell still, with the notifications enabled. Also, share my video on Chirper Lols, which is just Twitter, by the way, and your Facebook accounts, as well as other social media platforms. YouTube does not like me and wants me to get zero exposure. So the best way to help me grow my channel is to speak out to others who might like what you like and give them my YouTube name and my channel link. Also, if you would listen and enjoy my OSTs, that would be much appreciated. Also, watching my videos both live and off of live are vital in assuring my channel's growth. I will eventually be uploading my gameplays into smaller segments for easier viewing consumption. Most likely somewhere around when I get my new desktop. I'll try to make up for the lost stream time by trying to upload in more stream highlights and other stuff that are offline as basically make-up content in return. Last but not least, watch my videos until the end to find out which more videos you can watch and enjoy to your viewing pleasure here at OneManCast 346. As usual, guys, I'm OneMan. Have a nice day. Never stop loving anime. I'll see you next time.